Hey guys, it's Colin from Hollywood Studios here. We are back here at Great Adventure. It is Saturday, October 11th. I'm actually on a new camera right now. I'm using my new iPhone 17 Pro, so let me know down in the comments if the quality is any better. I hope it is. But we're gonna start off over here, of course, at Project 2027, we'll call it, and check in on some construction. It's been a little while since I've really looked. But of course, these are the footers that I thought were going to be the final ones of the line, so to speak, for this coaster. But actually, we have some more going in over here. I'd say we're probably looking at another at least 2, 3, maybe even 4. This is almost definitely going to be where the tower for the coaster is going to wind up. You can see they already have the giant square hole kind of set up in the asphalt here, kind of protruding into the parking lot a little bit. And this is the part that seems like it might go a little bit into King Dakot's old plot. You can still see that piece of track over there sitting there. I'm not sure when that's going to be moved. My assumption is that it's going to wind up in the safari, but we really don't know for sure yet. But taking a look down the line, it looks like most of these footers have been poured. I mean, you get a great view from down here of just all that excellent rebar and all the caps on top of the rebar as well. Forest Concrete and Sunrise, they're doing an excellent job on this project. They're really making quick work of it. In terms of when it's going to open, we'll have absolutely no idea until we see track and support start showing up. And hopefully we'll see that soon. We're keeping an eye on all the import websites to see when we start seeing deliveries, presumably from Mock Rides, but it could be any manufacturer, you don't know. But my assumption is Mock Rides, and once we see those start to come in, that's when we'll have a much better idea of when this thing will go vertical and then eventually open. But I'm still really impressed by the sheer size of this hole right here. I mean, the footer that's probably going to go in right here must be absolutely gigantic. I mean, this hole is huge, and you can see more mark out over there as well. It looks like, I got to back up a little, it's a red or orange there, and we got a green one right there. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly what all that means, but yeah, this is very, very exciting. This is really the best view we're going to get of it from anywhere in the park, really, because you can't really see much from inside the park. But we are going to go inside the park and show off some of the quick little updates before I head out. I mainly just wanted to come and check in on this and, of course, try out my new phone, which I'm very excited to have. And here's just a nice, really wide shot of the entire site with this excellent 8x zoom. I'm really liking this. Let me zoom it out a little bit more. All the way down. All right, we're inside the park. Like I said, I'm not really planning on riding anything. I'm just here to check out the changes, get some food, and head out. But curious to see if we find anything new. All right, so inside the park, I am noticing that right there. I don't know if it's new, but that is a map for the interactive lanterns of all the different spots, one of which is right here. If you want to see a little more detail on that, check out my previous vlog from the park where we got to mess around with the lanterns a little bit. As I noted in the last video, they have rebranded the carousel during the Halloween season to the Scarousel because it actually runs backwards, which is one of my favorite things they've done. And they also rebranded the teacups, as you can see up there. They are now known as the Teacups of Terror. Now, from the videos I've seen, it's not too crazy of an overlay. There's just like a different lighting package and Halloween songs, but very cool nonetheless. They don't usually do stuff like this, so I appreciate seeing that extra little touch for Fright Fest. I know I haven't really done any kind of update on the brick watch over here, but that's because there's not really anything to update. I personally haven't really noticed any new bricks. If I had to guess, some of the ones down here might be on the newer side. I do think there's some newer ones, but I still have not seen any that have the El Toro or Nitro logo. I see a lot of King Dakot ones. That was relatively new, but other than that, there hasn't really been too many new ones in place. I don't know if they just haven't had the chance to put them in yet or if people aren't ordering them, but this is as far as it goes right here, pretty much to that bench. As I try to yell over this really obnoxiously loud music, something I noticed last visit I forgot to point out, over here at Attitudes, the orange tent, that Fright Fest sign in there, that is actually one of the original Fright Fest signs from when the event was first hosted way back when in the 90s. That's really cool that they have that on display. They had that in the RIP bar at first, and I guess since that's not open, and I don't know if it's gonna open, they decided to move it over here. This trend of this side of the park being dead just seems to continue, because when I came in, there was a decent crowd, nothing crazy, but definitely a fair amount of people. And once I get to this side of the park, there was just nobody. Something else I never noticed, looks like they updated the guest code of conduct signs to have the ghoul rules as well. Now, what I like most about this Plaza de la Muerte scare zone is that even when you come through it during the day, it looks awesome because there's so many physical props. Honestly, it feels like more than most of the other scare zones in the park. It just looks fantastic. Like I said, I wasn't planning on riding anything today, and I guess it's good I wasn't planning on riding El Toro. Looks like they're maybe either putting on a second train or taking off the second train. That's usually what that means, especially if it's an empty train up there. I also never pointed out that trick or treat sign that they added over what used to be El Diablo's entrance, and before that was Rolling Thunder's entrance. but was most recently used as the Katoro pathway entrance. So now they got a nice sign for trick or treat there. A very unexpected update here too. You can actually see that they repainted the Rolling Thunder piece that's underneath the Rolling Thunder Hill and got rid of some of those trees. That is awesome. Now, like I said, it wasn't originally gonna ride anything, but I might go ride Medusa. I haven't ridden it in a while, and something very interesting about Medusa now is that it's running 2 trains. I believe it's A train and C train. If I remember correctly, C train is the one that actually has something a little different about it. The wheel compound is different than that which is on A train, so it runs a lot quieter and smoother, which is very weird because Medusa is usually extremely loud. So I want to go see if I can catch that in action. It sounded like A train just went by because that was loud. So I'm assuming the next train to go by will probably be the other one that has the much quieter wheels. Looks like over at El Toro, they are in fact taking a train off from the looks of it. All right, so now if my line of thinking is correct, the train that's gonna come by now should be the quiet one. And I think it definitely is, because I still don't hear it, which is really weird. Whoa. That sounds very different. Like this train is also running a lot slower because I actually heard the upstops click up there because it was weightless for so long that the upstops actually had to get touching the track, which is pretty crazy. So unfortunately I did not get on the super quiet C train. I got on A train, but it was still running good. It is really crazy to me just how big of a difference it is. I mean, listen, it sounds like it was built this year. It's so quiet and smooth. I don't know if it's actually that smooth, but from what I've heard, it is a little smoother than the other train. So come ride Medusa, try ride it a couple times. Try to get on the A train, try to get on the C train, and see if there's a difference. It really is still just crazy to me how dead this area of the park always is. I mean, there's so much less people on this side than there is on the other side. And it makes sense, there's definitely less to do. But there are plenty of lantern spots. I didn't actually come down here when I had the lantern on my last visit, but I guess this one makes the TNT explode or something. There's a few of them down here. There's one right there too, He Must Talk. There's another one right here with this prop. So I guess they really put good use to these props over in Frontier Adventures. Over here in BBNP, it looks like they do have a little bit of a maze here. I haven't been over here during Kids Boo Fest, but there is a maze set up. Good thing their kids are not too tall because otherwise they'd see right over it. But for little kids, that's probably the perfect height. I don't really see much of anyone in there. I think because of the weather, you could see not a very great day out. We're supposed to actually, I believe, get a nor'easter tomorrow or the day after. So I'd imagine that this Columbus Day weekend is going to wind up being a little bit of a wash, but that's all right. They still have the rest of the Fright Fest season to try and make up for it. Looks like I've caught a rare day where Garden State Grill is open. I still have not eaten there this year yet, so after I make my way down the boardwalk and come back, I'll probably stop there just to see if anything has changed. I do see something new up there, actually. Up here in front of the planter next to Twister, or at least what used to be Twister, we have a new lantern spot. I don't remember seeing this one last time. I imagine there's probably a light or a sound that goes off when you bring the lantern over. I couldn't help taking a look through the fence here now that I've got this extra 8x zoom, and you can definitely see a lot of new fencing around the footers down there, which is very, very cool to see. It's kind of like a weird way it's shaped, because this right here that you see in front of me, that is definitely for the maintenance track over there, and then the main course runs all the way down. That fencing's in a very interesting spot though. It's kind of like bisecting the middle. It's very strange. There's not really much of anything new down here, so I am gonna go eat at Garden State Grill and see how it is, because like I said, I have not eaten there yet this year because it's always been closed. Inside Garden State Grill, not much has changed, but they do have the pump condiment station, which is really, really nice. I feel like these tables and chairs might be a little different. So here's the All-American burger. It actually does look like it is a double patty. Yeah, that's surprising. This is basically the Yum Yum burger, just with toasted buns. So that's pretty good, honestly. So the burger was good, but I will say I perfectly understand why they haven't been opening Garden State Grill. During the entire time I was in there, from when I walked in to when I walked out, I was the only guest in there. Now, again, it's very dead on this side of the park, so that makes sense. But for even a food location to be that empty, I do get why it's very rarely open. It always seems that no matter how empty the park is, Houdini always winds up with a line. It continues to be one of the most popular attractions at the park, which you really wouldn't think, but I guess people really are just drawn to it. I also don't think I've shown this off yet, but I really like this nice little display they have next to the Dream Street Refreshments where the 50th sign used to be. It looks very nice. I also don't recall seeing that beer garden sign at the back entrance to Ale House here. Down here in the Villains area, it looks like we have a slight changeover at Harley Quinn. That fencing over there did not have that additional bit of lattice on the top, so it looks like they raised the height of the fencing. You can very much so tell it's new because it's a very different color than the older wood below it. As I'm walking through the park, I'm noticing that the volume of the music is like really inconsistent. In some areas, it's so loud to the point where I can't even hear myself think. And then other areas, it's really, really quiet. I'm guessing in the areas it's really loud, that's for Fright Fest, but during the day when there's not many crowds, there's not too much noise, it's just way too loud. Unfortunately, nothing has really changed over here at Nitro. It is very much so still closed. Like I said, I wouldn't expect it to open for the rest of the season. I mean, if it does, that's awesome, but I'm not holding my breath. My guess is we'll see it return in the spring, but hopefully I can be proven wrong. You can see it, there's obviously no trains on the track, and there's not gonna be until testing is ready to start happening. So pretty much this whole area of the park is kind of dead now, especially because Roaring Rapids, I believe, has closed for the season. I know the sign still says weekends only 10:30 to 6, but I'm pretty sure last weekend was the final weekend for it, so that means no more water rides, which makes sense. It's kind of getting too cold anyways. I'm also noticing some new wood chips over here at the side entrance to Pine Barrens, which is very, very nice. And of course, Devil, thankfully, had its programming fixed and now runs 3 trains the way it should. Last area of the park we're gonna walk through is, of course, Movie Town or Metropolis or whatever you wanna call it nowadays. Not expecting to see anything different, but figure I'd walk through this way instead of going back down past Giant Wheel. And I will say the park has progressively been getting more and more crowded as we get deeper into the Halloween season. It's not like it's crowded, it's definitely not crowded right now. It's just, you know, a comfortable amount of people, but it is definitely a noticeable increase from what it was at the start of Fright Fest back in early September. And like I said, the RIP bar, I still have not seen open yet. I don't know if it's going to open because we are about halfway through Fright Fest season. I mean, they have all the signage up on the exterior of the building, but you can see obviously that it is still closed. Hopefully we see it open though. This is one of my favorite spots to go and just hang out in. I really liked when they had the Xboxes in there too, because you just go in, play some games for a little bit. No one really knew about it. Everyone was out riding rides, especially on a rainy day, you could just go in there and hang out. So hopefully we see that come back sooner than later. Something I'm just now noticing that I never actually realized is that as you're walking towards Flash, that tree completely blocks the sign until you're like right next to it. Speaking of Flash, it looks like Speedster Central is closed, which is pretty surprising. That's where you go and redeem your on-ride photos, so it looks like you cannot do that today. And as for the line for Flash, well, there's not too much after the lockers there, so that's usually a pretty good sign. You can never tell what's after the lockers though. It's very hard to actually get a view of that, but that doesn't look too bad for Flash. That extra zooming capability that this phone has really comes in handy for filming this ride and really any other ride. I've been having a lot of fun filming them. That's gonna do it for my quick little visit here at Great Adventure. I was here for about an hour and that's really all the time I needed. Hey, what's up? I did Medusa once, got to eat at Garden State Grill, which I haven't done all year, and just walk around the park and see what was new. And of course, test out this new phone, which was lots of fun. Let me know down in the comments if you actually noticed a difference with this phone. I'm not gonna know until I sit down and edit this, so you guys will be able to answer that before me. But if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.